Sound of a door creaking open, followed by a heavy sigh. Picture this. You've had the worst day of your life. You're broke, you're exhausted, and all you want is the comfort of your own home. The warmth of the person you love. That was me, Tom. I walked through that door expecting a hug, "How was your day?" Instead, I heard giggles from our bedroom. It wasn't my wife's laugh alone. My heart dropped. I pushed the door open, and there she was with another man in our bed. The world just shattered. I didn't scream, I didn't fight. I just turned around, walked out, and closed the front door behind me for the last time. My feet felt like lead as I wandered the cold, dark streets. Hopelessness is a heavy cloak, you know? It wraps around you until you can barely breathe. I had nothing. No home, no love, and just a few crumpled bills in my pocket. Enough for one last meal, maybe. I found a small, cheap diner, the kind with flickering neon signs. As I was about to go in, a voice, raspy and weak, called out, "Sir, please." I haven't eaten in days. I turned to see an old man huddled against the wall, his clothes little more than rags, his eyes filled with a desperation I recognized in my own heart. My first instinct was to say no. This was my last bit of money, my survival. But then I looked at him, truly looked at him. He was me, just a few steps further down the same miserable road. What was one meal to me, when it could mean everything to him? With a heavy sigh, I handed him all the money I had. "Here," I said, "get yourself something hot." He stared at the money, then back at me, his eyes welling up with tears. Thank you," he stammered. I have nothing to give you in return except this." He reached into his tattered coat and pulled out a rolled-up, dusty piece of paper, tied with a string. It looked like a child's drawing, all faded and rusty from age. "It's all I have," he whispered. I almost refused, but I saw the pride in his eyes, so I took it. I spent that night on a park bench, my stomach growling, clutching that worthless piece of paper. The next morning, just to pass the time, I unrolled it. It wasn't a child's drawing. It was intricate, detailed, an old architectural blueprint of some kind. On a whim, I took it to a local pawn shop. The owner squinted at it, cleaned it off, and his eyes went wide. He offered me a few $100s on the spot. I was stunned, but something told me to wait. I took it to an art historian at the university. Her jaw dropped. It wasn't just any blueprint. It was a lost original draft by a world-famous architect from centuries ago, a one-of-a-kind masterpiece thought to be lost to history. Fast forward a few weeks. I'm standing in a packed auction house wearing a rented suit. My hands are sweating as the bidding starts. 100,000, 500,000, a million. It just kept climbing. The final gavel fell at $2.5 million. My life changed in that single moment, all because of an act of kindness on my darkest night. I lost a home, but I found my humanity. And in giving away my last few dollars, I was given a new life I never could have imagined.